The Dallas Cowboys are making bold moves this offseason, and the latest addition could change the landscape of their defense heading into the new season. With new defensive coordinator Christian Parker at the helm, the Cowboys are clearly on a mission to fortify their secondary, most notably with the signing of former Arizona Cardinals safety Jalen Thompson. Thompson's arrival in Dallas, sealed with a 3-year, $33 million contract, sends a powerful message. After 7 solid seasons in Arizona, Thompson comes in with a reputation that precedes him, and fans are right to feel a surge of optimism about what he can bring to the Cowboys' defensive unit. His versatility and experience could be the key to unlocking the potential of a secondary that has struggled with consistency in recent years. However, amid the excitement surrounding Thompson, there's a looming question. What does this mean for Malik Hooker? The Cowboys may be poised to part ways with the veteran safety as they reshape their roster. Hooker, who has been in Dallas for 5 seasons, has had a roller coaster ride marked by flashes of brilliance and frustrating injuries. He started all 12 games he appeared in last season, but unfortunately didn't force any turnovers and only managed 1 pass breakup. Those numbers simply won't cut it if the Cowboys aim to compete at the highest level. The presence of Thompson, coupled with the recent signing of former Denver Broncos safety P.J. Locke, has raised the stakes in the safety room. The Cowboys are clearly prioritizing upgrades at that position, and Hooker's future is now clouded with uncertainty. While it's easy to point fingers and speculate, it's essential to remember that this isn't a criticism of Hooker's talent. He has shown he can deliver solid performances in the NFL, accumulating 289 total tackles, 14 pass breakups, and 7 interceptions over his career. The question is whether he can maintain that level of play consistently, especially with the injury concerns that have plagued him. Injuries can be a fickle mistress, and the Cowboys could face a situation where they need to keep Hooker around if the safety position suffers additional setbacks in training camp. But if the secondary remains healthy as they head into the season, it's hard to ignore the writing on the wall. The Cowboys might be looking to cleanse the roster of as many remnants from last year's secondary as possible. It's a bold strategy, especially for a team that has typically leaned heavily on the experience of its veterans. This offseason is about evolution for the Cowboys, and part of that evolution might mean making tough decisions. They've clearly signaled their intent to revamp their defensive personnel, and Hooker, despite his previous contributions, might find himself on the outside looking in. As the Cowboys continue to navigate these roster dynamics, fans must stay vigilant. The hope is that these changes will yield a more robust defensive unit ready to compete fiercely in the upcoming season. The stakes are higher than ever, and as we look ahead, every decision will be scrutinized through the lens of improving the team's performance on the field. Moving on from Hooker would be a significant moment for the Cowboys, marking a shift in their strategy and philosophy. But with every ending comes a new beginning, and the arrival of fresh talent like Thompson could be the catalyst for a new era in Dallas football. As the Cowboys continue to make headlines this offseason, the intrigue only deepens. The next segment will explore another critical move that could impact the team's trajectory as they gear up for what promises to be an electrifying NFL season. The Dallas Cowboys are making it clear revitalizing their defense is a top priority, and the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft is a crucial battleground for this mission. With 2 first-round picks at their disposal, the Cowboys have a golden opportunity to secure not just 1, but potentially 2 game-changing players who can reshape the defensive landscape of this team. Among the names making the rounds as potential picks is Rueben Bain Jr. from the Miami Hurricanes, a player who has set the college football world ablaze with his exceptional performance. A consensus All-American and last season's ACC Defensive Player of the Year, Bain has the kind of pedigree that most teams would salivate over. Yet, it's his on-field production that should truly excite Cowboys fans. Despite whispers regarding his arm length, Bain's tape tells an entirely different story. He is a relentless force, consistently wreaking havoc in the backfield. The comparisons to Brandon Graham, a 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles, are not given lightly. Bain embodies similar traits to Graham, being a compact and stout-edged defender known to win with power and a fierce tenacity. This is a player who plays with a high motor, chasing down running backs and disrupting plays with a ferocity that resonates with the identity of what the Cowboys need on defense. As ESPN's Turn Davenport aptly put it, Bain can line up in various formations, whether it's the wide nine technique or as an interior pass-rushing threat. This versatility is exactly what defensive coordinator Christian Parker craves, especially given the Cowboys' struggles last season. Last year alone, Bain amassed an impressive 54 tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. These statistics are not just numbers. They represent a player whose talent could seamlessly integrate into the Cowboys' defensive scheme. The Cowboys' defense, which ranked at dismal number 30 overall last season, is in dire need of reinforcements. The departure of Micah Parsons left a gaping hole in the pass rush that must be filled if the Cowboys are to contend for a championship. As the draft approaches on April 23rd in Pittsburgh, the potential for Bain to slip out of the top 10 looms larger, especially with ongoing concerns about his arm length. Should he fall, the Cowboys must strike while the iron is hot. Passing on a talent like Bain could haunt this franchise for years, as they desperately search for a player who can disrupt opposing offenses and rejuvenate their defensive unit. With the 12th overall pick, the Cowboys find themselves in a prime position to grab Bain if he slides. The urgency is palpable. They cannot afford to overlook an opportunity that could potentially transform their defense. The stakes are high, and the pressure is on the Cowboys' front office to make the right call. Will they seize the moment and draft a player who could change the course of their defensive strategy for years to come? The countdown to the draft is on, and all eyes will be on Dallas to see if they make a move that could redefine their future. Next up, let's dive into what this means for the future of the Cowboys and how the draft strategy could unfold beyond just Bain. Stay tuned as we inch closer to the 2026 NFL Draft. One thing is crystal clear. The Dallas Cowboys are on the brink of a transformative offseason, and an insider has just laid out a tantalizing dream scenario that could reshape the franchise's future. The anticipation surrounding the Cowboys and their draft strategy has reached a fever pitch. With a plethora of mock drafts flooding the market, opinions are varied, yet none capture the essence of potential like the recent predictions from a respected figure in the NFL, Peter Schrager. His insight shouldn't be brushed off lightly. While he may not be the definitive voice in talent evaluation, his connections and understanding of the league are invaluable. In Schrager's vision, a top-tier defensive player unexpectedly slips to the Cowboys at pick number 12. While at number 20, they snag a prospect who many believe should be off the board much earlier. Let's dive into the player that has ignited excitement. Downs, a safety whose draft stock has been a roller coaster this offseason. The reasons for this fluctuation aren't tied to his performance on the field or any off-the-field issues, but rather the long-standing undervaluation of safeties in the NFL. However, as Schrager notes, for a defense-hungry Cowboys team, that should pose no problem. With insights from Ohio State's defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, who described Downs as the smartest player in the draft, it's clear that he embodies the leadership qualities that the Cowboys desperately need on the defensive side. Even with the recent addition of Jalen Thompson, adding Downs to the roster would be an absolute home run. Under the guidance of new defensive coordinator Christian Parker, who is known for his emphasis on intelligence and versatility, Downs could thrive, becoming a cornerstone of a revamped defensive unit. Now, consider the second player in this hypothetical scenario, Akeem Asitter from Miami at pick number 20. This is where the Cowboys could strike gold. Many scouts have raised concerns about Asitter's age, as he is already 25, but let's be clear, this is not a team in a rebuilding phase. The Cowboys are in a win-now mindset, and Asitter brings immediate NFL readiness to the table. His performance at Miami has drawn comparisons to his teammate, Rueben Bain Jr., who is projected as a top 10 pick, but Asitter's extensive pass-rushing repertoire and impressive stats, 12.5 sacks last season, paint a picture of a player who is ready to contribute right away. It's a common misconception that age equates to a lack of potential. In the case of Asitter, it's more about experience. The Cowboys need a player who can step in and make an impact immediately, not one who requires years of development. With the potential for Asitter to compete for a starting role alongside Rashawn Gary and Donovan Ezeka, the depth he brings is invaluable. This is a calculated move that aligns perfectly with Parker's vision of constructing a formidable defense. In a draft that could define the trajectory of the Cowboys for years to come, the combination of Downs and Asitter would be an exceptional haul. Parker, a coach who has successfully molded defensive backs into all-pro talents, would have the ideal prospects to work with. The departure of Matt Eberflus was a necessary adjustment, but now it's time to provide Parker with the talent he requires to thrive. This scenario, if it comes to fruition, could set the Cowboys on a path toward defensive dominance. As we wrap up this discussion, the implications of these potential draft picks cannot be overstated. The Cowboys are standing at a crossroads, and the choices they make will reverberate throughout the franchise for years. It's a pivotal moment that could either solidify their status as contenders or push them further into mediocrity. The excitement, the anxiety, the hope. This is what being a Cowboys fan is all about. So, what do you think of this dream scenario for the Dallas Cowboys? Are you as excited as we are about the possibility of landing Downs and Masitter? Let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest news and commentary on the Cowboys as we gear up for what could be a game-changing draft.